What's up, Mesa Falcons? It's me, it's CGB, and I'm back to do the Pro Tour game with Rarran. Hi, Rarran.
Hold on.
I lost him. I lost you already. Come on. We got to do the intro like professionals.
You said that so well, and then I heard you crack up, and that's what got me. Because you were like, I'm going to go with the joke. You call yourself.
It's a work in progress. Okay, rebranding is hard, and I still crack myself up as I try to do it.
Has that made a significant impact in your channel, by the way?
Dude, it's all everywhere I go. Like, I'm evaluating a new card, and I'm like, I didn't think this card was good, but then it got played in this sick combo, and they're like, well, it's no Mesa Falcon, no 1/1 with butt pumping.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, people like even on the r/Hearthstone, people call you Mesa Falcon guy, which is absolutely hilarious.
You can't see it, but I now keep one right here on my desk, so I can just hold it up to the camera. Yep. I did a recent video where I bend tested it, just kind of bent it in half. Really freaked him out. It was great.
Why did you do that? Did it bend?
You'd have to watch the video.
Okay, which one was it?
Oh, I'm a professional YouTuber. Anyway, great intro. Today we're playing the Pro Tour game. I am going to introduce you to the cards in the meta of Pro Tour Dark Ascension. Now, I'm going to do some boomer talk to set the scene. Hold on.
All right,
I had my glasses, and now I've lost them. Imagine me putting on my boomer glasses. The year was 2012. Wizards of the Coast decided to market the Pro Tour better. They had discovered this new thing called Twitch. Pro Tour Dark Ascension was the first Pro Tour where they actually streamed the whole thing with a pretty, for its time, high quality production on Twitch, and then put the VODs on YouTube. So unlike what the weird tales I told you of 1996, you can go watch this Pro Tour if you want, with pretty good coverage. It's on YouTube now. At least the top 8 is still available on YouTube. So it also marked the change from Pro Tour Chicago, Pro Tour Honolulu, Pro Tour New York, where the Pro Tour was named after a city, to being named after the set, and specifically celebrating the release of a new set. The Pro Tour happened about 2 weeks after a set came out, so that the cards were very new, and it was a lot of players' first opportunity to see the cards played in a serious tournament.
Okay.
Doesn't that sound fun?
It does. How many, quick question before you continue. How many cards were in the standard set when this one came out?
A very good and legitimate question that I'm actually prepared for.
Let's go.
1,172 cards were in this set.
In this set or the standard set? Okay.
In the standard rotation.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. Holy
Dark
shit!
Ascension.
They cooked.
Yeah. Dark Ascension offered 158 new cards to the set. The set's legal for you boomers out there, of which I am one. The set's legal for this Pro Tour. Scars of Mirrodin Besieged, New Phyrexia, M12, Innistrad, and Dark Ascension. So it's a very exciting time for Magic. It had one of the best, most star-studded top 8s in history, featuring future world champion and arguably greatest player of all time, Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa. Small flex, friend of the channel and friend of yours.
I haven't spoken to him in so long, but I'll take it.
Yeah, just take it. John Finkel, also arguably the greatest player of all time. So both in the top 8 together. A few other very known pros. First top 8 for Matt Costa, Jelger Vigasma, famous pro, and one certain Brian Kibler.
Welcome back.
Indeed. So it was a really hype Pro Tour. The coverage was amazing. You can go watch it. I watch the coverage all the time. The top 8 was amazing. Really excellent. And we're going to dive into the cards that made it awesome. Now, I haven't done this game with you before, but you see, Magic loves cycles. They love to have a card and then make a similar card of it for each color. So I'm going to show you 5 cards. They are very similar. So like understanding them won't be like reading like a million different lines of text. You'll understand very quickly what they have in common. And then I'm going to give you 5 numbers. And that's how many copies of each one were in the top 8 of this Pro Tour. You are going to try to match the number to the card.
Okay.
Now,
this is easy.
This is easy?
We'll see, actually.
I am actually really curious how you'll handle this one, because I'm going to be dumping some cards at you. Let me go in Wooburg order to keep it fair.
Okay. Wait, what did you... Wooburg? What did you just say?
Wooburg. Magic terms.
What is that?
Wooburg is white, blue, black, red, green. The 5 colors of magic.
Okay. And
the little symbol for it. U is used for blue because otherwise there'd be 2 Bs.
Why is it? Oh, okay. Sure. I can understand that. I guess I'll read it first and then you can give me numbers.
Yep.
Okay. They're all Titans, so that's interesting. The White Titan also does the Sun Titan. Vigilance. Whenever this enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with converted mana cost of 3 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. That is anyone's card, right?
It has to be from your graveyard.
Oh, sorry, that's my bad. Sorry. Let's from. Okay, yeah.
It's all right. We're warming up. We're warming up.
I'm gonna have to reread these cards after I go through all of them just to verify I didn't miss anything. Okay, the Blue Titan, Frost Titan. You know what's crazy? I don't know if I've ever told you this or I've showed you any of them. In Hearthstone, they have giants, and like most of them are neutral. This is almost the same kind of concept because they're all like the same stat line and the same mana cost for the most part.
Okay.
Okay. 4 neutral, 2 blue. Okay, I'm not even gonna bother saying the actual mana cost because they're the same. It's just the color.
Yep.
Just for the future. Okay. And they're all 6/6s, so I don't need to say that either. Whenever this becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter the spell or ability unless controller pays 2. When this enters the battlefield, tap target permanent. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap stat. I can tell you right now, in my opinion, this one's infinitely better than the last one. Let me continue. Grave Titan. Oh my, hold on. I gotta zoom in on the art here. Yeah, dude. So cool.
It's so cool.
Grave Titan. This has Death Touch, which is poisonous in Hearthstone, right? Whenever it hits, it does good. Whenever Grave Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, put 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. Okay. That one's kind of whatever. Wait, this is what enters the battlefield? Okay, hold on. That actually might be a lot better than I'm expecting it. Inferno Titan gets +1/+0 until the end of turn for 1 red mana. Whenever this enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures or players. Okay, so you could all in on 1, or you could split it.
Yep.
Okay. Primeval Titan. What the hell is this guy doing, man?
Just hanging out in some trees.
He's just splitting some trees.
Just splitting some trees.
Actually,
guys.
I guess the last guy is splitting a volcano, or he's coming out of it. I'm not really sure what he's doing. Okay. This has trample. Whenever this enters art in this game is very interesting to look at. I just want to put it out there.
The Inferno Titan and the Primeval Titan, I'm just gonna ruin them. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like one's taking a dump in a volcano and the other's squatting in the woods.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the art's great. Go on.
Enters the battlefield or attacks, you may search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and shelf your library. Okay. Let me read the first one once again just so I can remember. Return target permanent card with converted mana cost or 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. You know, all of these in their own way are okay. Like at least okay. I think the worst one by far at initial glance, it's probably the Inferno one, based on what I understand from Red, but all of the other ones are actually good in their own way. So
are you ready to see the numbers in the top 8?
Yeah. Oh, okay, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. These are so close. Go. Okay. 125400.
125400.
Okay, sorry. This is the number of copies in the top 8. That's what you said?
Of Pro Tour Dark Ascension. That's correct. Each deck can have up to 4 of a card.
Okay. So do you want me to just say out loud which ones I think go where?
Yep, I want you to try to match the number with the Titan.
No, I mean for like, just so you understand where I'm putting the numbers. Do you want me to say it out loud, or do you want me to like type it in?
I'd love for you to say it out, kind of reason it and say it as you go is how I envisioned it.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I'm doing this for what you wanted. Okay. Let me go through this. 12? Okay, which one do I think legitimately is the worst one here? I think the Inferno Titan's the worst one. I think comparatively to the other Titans you have shown me, I think it is the worst one. So I'm going to give that one a 0. Like, my opinion of this card is that if they're all 6 mana for a 6/6, I can't really compare stat line and mana cost. It comes down to their effect entirely. I don't think really spending a mana for +1/+0 is really that great. Also, dealing 3 damage is good, but I don't think it's like insane. I think it's like, it's definitely okay. I think the minimum for all these cards is fine, but I can see this one not getting played because there's probably just better stuff for like an aggro deck if that's what you're going for. So I think that one's 0. Okay, now this actually becomes a little bit more difficult. At 6 mana, how good is it to get 2 land cards? It's good because I guess you draw them and you get to play them tap, so you have extra mana next turn. And this is when it enters. So like, this is like inherent ramp, which is not great. Can I ask you a question?
You can ask questions.
Yes. Does the green color have any way of cheating out this card from the graveyard and or from their deck?
From the graveyard, no. From the deck, there are cards that can get this card onto the battlefield, but they cost more than the card itself.
Okay, so all right, so it's not like
green is very druid though. Like like getting ahead on mana, ramping is very much their jam.
Okay, the reason I asked that is just because if there was a card that could cheat this out faster than you're actually paying for it, it's ridiculous. But they do ramp. I know they ramp, so that means that like it technically comes on the board earlier than probably most of the other classes. The blue one, I think, is very good because not only is it just I guess a good static creature for the most part. I think a 6/6 is fine for this cost, right? Just so I'm clear.
One of the cool things is we kind of have the meta breakdown there with the numbers. Like 6 mana 6/6s made it and were played in the top 8 of the Pro Tour. So that is a very good hint for like their viability.
Okay, now I just got to clarify one thing because it's been a while since we've done one of these videos and since I played Magic. When you say tap target permanent, does that mean any creature, artifact? I forget what the other one is.
A permanent is anything that stays on the battlefield. So enchantment, tapping an enchantment doesn't do anything, like because enchantments are just sitting there providing an effect. So tapping an enchantment usually does nothing, but tapping lands, tapping creatures, tapping artifacts. Pretty big deal. Oh my
god. See, the thing is like it's such a good effect in a vacuum, but it's like, do I really care about spending 2 more mana most of the time? I guess it really depends on the deck. See, a lot of this comes down to what people thought were going to be the best deck as well, because Frost Titan has the capabilities of rolling something. But I don't know. I feel like the Sun Titan's also really good because it can just keep bringing stuff back the more it attacks, and white has the capabilities of like buffing and like sustaining their own creatures, right? And you need to I gotta remember too, like you full heal at the end of your turn.
Yes.
So like you have to one shot the Sun Titan, otherwise it's gonna keep on being really annoying and bring stuff back.
Do you remember what Vigilance does?
Vigilance is something to look at your deck or something, isn't it?
No. Vigilance is.
I'm thinking. Hold on. Is it? It's combat related.
It is.
It's not reach. It's is it once it attacks it doesn't unblock, or it unblocks immediately or untaps, whatever you want to call it?
Yes, it does not. Okay. It does not tap to attack is the technical phrasing. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. That was so bad. Okay, but you got what I meant. That's all that matters.
I'm with you. I don't know if they're with you.
Okay, but that's really that's really good though, right? Because that means you don't get punished for attacking, because it can just keep on going. Man, like that is okay. Oh my god, I hate this. This is so hard. I haven't even talked about the black one yet. See, the thing is, from all these videos, black has a lot of ways of pulling shit out of the graveyard. And like every time you pull that out or it attacks, you get 2/2 tokens, which is, I think, pretty great, especially at like this point in time in Magic. What year is this, by the way?
This is 2012.
Okay, so this is actually further on than I thought. Okay. Oh my god, I hate this so much. Okay, red.
I'd like to give you a little more context on Primeval Titan.
Okay, sure.
Most cards in Magic say search for a basic land, so that would be like a forest in a green deck. Primeval Titan allows any land.
Okay, but see the thing. Listen. Hey. We've done a lot of these videos. Okay, I'm actually the king of gaslighting people too.
Okay.
So like what you just said to me makes me not want to actually pick the card whatsoever.
Even lower on it than you were before.
It's just tough because it's like, why would you say that? Are you saying that to like?
I'm a terrible gaslighter. That's why.
Fuck. I hate you. The thing is, like, it's all or not really all or nothing, but two of them are just bad. Okay, I'm gonna, for the sake of time, so I don't sit here for the next 20 minutes just debating to myself, I'm gonna say the Frost Titan is also 0 because I feel like there's probably effects that, or there's probably cards that do something similar to it that don't require 6 mana and a 6/6 body. I feel like you could do something better with it. That might bite me in the ass. Let's come back to it. I think the best one here is the black one. I think Grave Titan is the best one here. I think that mechanic of just bringing 2/2 black zombie creatures and having more stuff to maybe sacrifice or etc. seems like it's pretty great. And I think this is the one that you could, I'm going to use quotations here for cheating, but I feel like you could keep bringing this card out of the graveyard more often than the other ones. And I feel like every time it enters the battlefield, it's going to cause more problems for your opponent. So that one I put 12. I would say probably the Primeval Titan is 4 and the white one is 5. Something like that. I think as long as I get, you know what, dude, if I get 2 out of the 5, I'm happy. No.
If you get 2 out of 5, you're happy?
3 out of 5, because I passed.
Dude, you've been crushing my games lately. You have such a low opinion of yourself.
Okay, listen, this is so hard because, well, okay, it's not like it's impossible, but they're all okay in power level. So it really comes down to what I believe in Magic the Gathering is the best one. Because I'll tell you right now, the Grave Titan, if this was in Hearthstone, I probably wouldn't play it. But the Sun Titan,
okay.
The Sun Titan might go hard. The Frost Titan and Hearthstone would probably go insane. Like that would be such an annoying card to deal with. So like that's why I'm worried. Even as the Titan, the 6 mana 6 one, like if you told me that there's a card that just gives you 2 mana crystals, I'm stoked, right? But I gotta think, I haven't played enough Magic for me to be very confident to comparing all 5 of these. So I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, okay. Quick recap: 12 is the Grave Titan, 5 is the Sun Titan, and 4 is the Primeval Titan.
And the other 2 are 0.
Yeah,
gotcha. All right. Let's start. Let's go in this order. Frost Titan, the worst Titan.
Okay.
0.
Big
0 there. I thought you were getting really interested in Frosty here. I thought you were going for it for a second there. But yeah, Frost Titan, tapping stuff down, not nearly as good as removing it. And yep, paying 2 to kill the 6 drop was not something people were afraid to do. Doomblade, by the way, actually legal in this format. Doomblade 1 and a black, destroy target non-black creature. So just putting that out there to everybody who in the last video was like, Doomblade wasn't legal in that format. Just cards that do the exact same thing.
Oh my god.
Love them. All right, next 0. Sun Titan is a 0.
What?
I know. It's actually it is a good card and a beloved card, but in this top 8, Sun Titan was a 0. The aggressive strategies were actually curve topping a bit too soon to play a Sun Titan, which was kind of wild.
Okay.
Number 4, the one with 4 copies, Grave Titan. Only one, all in one deck in the top 8, playing black, running 4 copies of Grave Titan.
Okay.
It's a good card, and it's a heck of a board in a box. But at 5 copies in the top 8, Inferno Titan, which you gave a 0 to.
Listen, I don't think it's that good, but please explain why it is.
Well, for one thing, some of the most popular decks created a lot of small bodies. And because only the Primeval Titan has trample, most of the Titans get blocked by small bodies. But with Inferno Titan, I think the thing that is hard to think of is when you play this, you might kill some small creatures, right? on the opponent's turn, if they can't remove the Inferno Titan and they're a small creature deck and their plan was to block Inferno Titan with small creatures, what do? They make more small creatures. When Inferno Titan attacks, it just kills them again. So it was kind of this situation where if they didn't exactly have removal for Inferno Titan, they might never block it, and it might just kill them in 1 or 2 turns because it just mowed down small creatures on every attack phase.
I have a question, which I should have asked beforehand. If it attacks and does 3 damage, and then that creature dies, does it go face?
Well, you can send some of the damage to face.
No,
you mean the Inferno Titan's damage itself?
Yes.
Yes. If it's not blocked, then it punches face. Yes.
Oh.
And you think about the red ability of the +1/+0. If you cast Inferno Titan, you can probably activate that ability at least 4 or 5 times the next turn. So they're dying really fast.
So I'm gonna say something in my defense. In Hearthstone, because you don't actually block something, you would do the attacks. If an effect like this would kill the thing that you attack, it just fizzles out the attack. So
and no faces punch.
No faces punch. So in my mind, I was like, oh, if it kills the creature that it's blocking, it just doesn't do any damage, but you killed the creature. Which,
well, this is getting into combat technicality slightly, but these attack triggers happen when you declare it as an attacker before the opponent gets a chance to block.
Yeah, okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. Because, so that circumstance is like, you haven't actually done the attack yet. There's a sequence beforehand that actually stops the minion from blocking this. Therefore, it can attack after. That makes sense. No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
In Hearthstone, everything happens at once. Because, like, once you attack, like, then its text would activate. So therefore, like, the attack fizzles out if the creature would die from it.
All right. That leaves 12 copies of Primeval Titan. I thought you might give this a 0. I was getting excited. But Primeval Titan and the ability to fetch 2 lands of any kind, non-basic, like utility, they're called lands with abilities on them, absolutely busted. This is the only card, I believe, let me double check my list. This is the only card I'm showing you today that is banned in Commander.
Really?
That's how busted it is.
So I feel like maybe I really underestimated how good it was because it does scale pretty fast. Like, you ramp really fast. If this card survives, like, my God, you get so much draw and mana from your opponent. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the boomers are going to love me talking about this. I'm going to mention a few cards that were legal in this format. You didn't know, but the context adds everything.
Okay.
There was Kessig Wolf Run. This is a land that for red and green and X and tap, so you can pump any amount of mana into this. X is whatever you want to pay. Any creature you have gets +X+0, an attack buff from this land. +X+0 until end of turn. So with Primeval Titan, the next turn, you're giving anything you want an additional +6/+0 in trample. Yeah. And there are also lands. There's this land called Inkmoth Nexus, which has an ability called Infect. All you need to know about Infect for the purpose of this video is if you take 10 damage from this land, you die. It's a 1/1. It's a land that turns into a 1/1. If it hits you 10 times, you die. But if you buff it with the other land that you get with your Primeval Titan and hit them for 10, it one-shots them.
You know, even not even knowing the context here, I actually am kind of disappointed with myself because the card is actually really good. Like, and I even said it in Hearthstone terms. I'm like, if this was a card, I would play it. Like, it's nasty because you do get you actually snowball so much with a card like this. It's crazy. And like your opponent, in Hearthstone, we call this a must kill card. I'm sure you have a lot of those. It has like, we call it pseudo taunt because like it needs to die.
Yep.
Yeah, this is probably one of those cards. But I am actually, so hold on. Regardless of the Primeval Taunt or the Primeval Titan, sorry. And
I like it.
My stupid Hearthstone brain going monkey on Inferno Titan. How is Sun Titan not played? Is it because
Sun Titan is played? It just didn't make top 8. Sun Titan was part of a really cool, like, mid-range control deck that copied Sun Titan over and over with copies that cost less than 3, so it kept getting back more Sun Titans, which was absolutely sick, but it did not make the top 8. The deck wasn't quite... It was kind of a control-y deck, and what you're going to discover about this top 8 from Primeval Titans dominance is that this was a rampy format. This was a go big format, and control decks had a hard time containing it.
All right. Actually, I know that those type of formats a lot because Druid, when it's the best, is so fucking annoying. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
Oh, bring it.
Druid is when it's the best class in the game, things go crazy. So
this format was one of the first ones. Somebody's going to correct me on this, I'm sure, but I feel like this was one of the first formats where green was that good and rampy, like big Timmy Titan stuff was that popular. And I thought about adding another category of like it saw play in the Pro Tour, and that would have been where Sun Titan goes. Frost Titan saw basically no play. So
okay, here's a question for you. Over Hearthstone, for Magic's history, what is the best color? What would you say is the best color?
Oh, blue. It's blue. It's gotta be blue.
Is that biased or like?
No, blue is the color of card draw and extra turns. Blue is the best. Come on. Okay, comments, but blue is the best. No bias.
I feel like that might be biased. I guess it's a really tough question in Magic because I would assume that dual class decks or dual color decks are way more popular and prevalent than mono color decks. I'm just assuming over Magic's history. So
I agree with that.
So it's like, what color would you want to use the most, I guess is the question, rather than what color is the best, because sometimes the combination of colors would be like just absurd for a certain set. But I feel like over Magic's history, there's probably a color that has been utilized the most, and I would be curious to see what that is.
That's a good question. I mean, I feel like green was at the low for a really long time. Then it had an era of like dominance, which this Pro Tour kind of kicked off. And now it feels, I don't know, it's very nebulous now. I think the designers are actually doing a good job rotating where power lies. But like one of the probably the most popular deck in the history of Magic that the most people play and succeed with is mono red, just straight mono red aggro. Yeah. There is no mono red aggro in this. Okay. Like, at least not the traditional kind. Like the red creatures were different.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It made this is a beloved format. Like standard players loved this format. Speaking of, I might have broken your brain with too many Titans. This is just a straight up which one made the top 8.
Okay. Thalia, Guardian of what? Throbbin? That's sure. Throbbing these nuts. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you're gonna keep it throbbing these nuts because I'll just start reading the card.
We sure are. We're keeping that in.
Okay. Legendary creature, first strike. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. That's just an aura on the board.
That is just an effect that this card provides,
and that's it. Okay. That's I'm gonna tell you that right now. That is an absolute disgusting effect. Let me continue. Invisible Stalker, great art. 1 neutral, 1 blue. Hexproof. This creature cannot be target of spells or abilities your opponents control, but it can still be attacked. Like it can still defend. Sorry, it can still defend.
It can block if that's what you mean.
That's what I mean. Yeah, but it's unblockable. Wait, this can't. What the fuck? Okay, so. First glance, the first one's so much better, but like, why would you put this one up against the other one? Cannot is unblockable. Like, that's a little bit metagamey. Like, let's be real here. The other one has first strike, and it makes your opponent's life a little bit more miserable depending on what deck they're playing. If they're playing like a board centric deck, whatever, like the effect is not really relevant. It also hits you too. But I feel like if you're going to put this card in your deck, you're going to build around this effect because this is a very, very powerful effect that could probably win you the game. But why are you showing me Invisible Stalker? Invisible Stalker is unblockable. Unblockable. How good is that effect? And it's hexproof. So theoretically speaking, unless you absolutely need to defend with this card, your opponent just can't interact with it unless they have an AoE.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got it.
Why are you showing me this card?
I mean, they can't do anything about it. Isn't that just like, it's a win con. It's a win con. It's a 20 turn clock.
Listen, I'm not going to metagame this. If you showed me these cards, we've never done any of these videos before, I'm going to go with Thalia because that card looks like it is very, very annoying to deal with. I personally, from what I've seen with blue, don't know how good really hexproof and basically an untargetable minion is for the blue class. I haven't really seen like any buffs or anything that would make this like that frustrating to deal with, but I'm sure that if it's the better card, you're gonna fill in that context. But I'll go with Thalia.
So just to be clear, Thalia is the better card. But the question isn't which card is better, it's which one made the top 8 of Pro Tour Dark Ascension.
I still think it's Thalia.
Okay.
For the record.
Well, but I'll tell you. Okay, let's get into it. So, Thalia is a disgusting effect. I hate this card so much. Hey. This card was brand new in Dark Ascension back in 2012. People were very, very excited about this card, and it was the most played. It was the most played strategy at the Pro Tour, were aggressive white creature strategies featuring Thalia, and 0 copies made the top 8. They were all obliterated by Inferno Titans and such, and Invisible Stalker was actually in the top 8 as part of an aggressive blue-white strategy that liked to put swords on little hexproof dorks and make them attack for more damage. Basically hand them weapons.
Oh, you know what's crazy is I just asked you the question of like what color has seen the most play in Magic, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, you could only put blue color cards in the deck with this one. Dude, it's been too long since I've done one of these videos that Hearthstone is actually giving me brain rot when it comes to evaluating cards now.
But now you know how I feel when I go over to your channel and do this Hearthstone stuff.
Okay. I think understanding the philosophy of just buffing this minion because your opponent can't interact with it and every single turn you just get chip damage is probably like a fine win condition.
Oh yeah.
But I will say, I think, I guess you could just verify this for me, but Thalia over the years to follow has probably been a way more impactful card.
Yes, Thalia's been around quite a bit and certainly goes through like times, like it's really popular in older formats where cheap spells were super like powerful and overly printed. Interesting note, Thalia is currently legal in Standard. Do you think Thalia, any copies of Thalia made the top 8 of Pro Tour Outlaws of Thunder Junction, which happened last weekend?
Yeah, but you've told me that there's like 3,000 cards.
There are 3,000 cards in current Standard. Yes.
How many people were going?
How many people at this Pro Tour? I think there were 200 some at Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
And your deck size is 60, I think.
All the numbers. This is all going to add up to.
I'm trying to think of like what is the actual percentage a card like that would see play. It's a pretty good card. Like I think it's a really, really good effect. I would say like I maybe not every single person, but I would say like maybe one got in with top 8 with Thalia. I could see it, but I wouldn't be again. There's 3,000 cards. So many cards.
It's a lot of cards. It's a lot of cards.
Like I'm showing you. Remember the video that I showed you with the classic tournament, the first tournament in Hearthstone that had like 500 cards.
Yeah, right? I did go back and watch that, by the way. It was very fun.
So, but if you think about it, right? Like I showed you cards that you thought. Well, I kind of messed you up with the Yeti, which I think was very good. But. I think that was the crowning achievement of that whole video. But you saw cards that you would probably think would like, oh, there's no way like this would probably see play, right? But like it's only like a very small section of cards that actually see legitimate play because they're just better than the rest. 3,000 cards is insane. Like you have to pick literally the best card if you're going to a tournament. So I actually don't know if Thalia would see play. I'd have to actually go through a lot of the other cards, but maybe I could see one person bring it.
It's 0.
Okay.
It's 0. Yeah. Unbelievable. Like, yeah, Thalia is definitely in decks in current Standard, but like, and you still run into it in best of 1, but man, it's kind of her history on Pro Tours. It has ups and downs.
Yeah. So can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, of course.
Is 3,000 the highest that's ever been in a Standard format? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not close.
Okay, what's the second highest? Just so I have context.
How am I supposed to know that?
I thought you.
You know how much I have to prepare for all your little. What's this number of this questions that you come up with? How was I supposed to know it was going to second highest? Like who? Anyway, who asks that?
Can you ballpark it?
I'm scrolling. I haven't seen one. In 2019, there was a standard format with 2,000 cards. Okay. That's the next 2,094 is the next closest I can find.
Give or take 1,000. Give or take 1,000.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry for asking such a hard-hitting question.
Current number is 3,340 cards.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's insane. Yeah, I'll give you context, by the way. So Hearthstone currently with 6 expansions. 6 expansions. This is gonna be a little difficult. I'm gonna have to crunch some numbers here. I would say Hearthstone, when it had its last the most amount of cards possible was probably like 1,300, give or take like 100. I can't do all the math in my head because it depends on mini sets and stuff. But yeah, around 1,300, 1,350 maybe.
Good God.
Just for context for you. And it feels like at that point in Hearthstone, like you have to pick literally the best cards. Like if your card is not doing the most it possibly can, like it's not getting played. So at 3,000, that line is so higher up. Like the threshold for a good card makes good cards look like bad cards at that point.
Yep.
So that's why Thalia probably just can't see you playing top 8. I would be, you know what? I might actually legitimately go look at top 8 cards, but I don't want to ruin that for a video, so I won't.
Thanks. Maybe a future video will do here. Okay. Yeah, you save yourself for my content, please. It's very important. Like, how am I going to hit 200,000 subs without it?
No, you'll get. Please subscribe. He has a family to feed.
We should be there by the time this comes out. I think I'm like 125 away or something.
What?
I think
Congratulations.
So.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you hit it earlier this year too. Like, boom, 200,000 sub gang. Anyway,
let's go.
The people don't want to hear us talk about how amazing we are. They want to hear you fail to understand Magic cards. So let's do it. Let's do it.
What do you mean? I thought they were here to just give us compliments.
Yeah, they're just here to compliment us. That's all I ever get in my comment section. I don't know about you.
Compliment? I get yelled at.
So this next one, I'm going to show you 3 cards. It's going to look like 4 because one of them is double-sided. So don't panic. When it says transform, I'm showing you the other side of it. And you are going to, well, you're going to give them a read. You're going to give your first impressions. Then I'm going to share how many of each 3 numbers of the top 8, like we did with the Titans. And you're going to try to match the number to the card.
Okay. So, I'm guessing the blue card goes with the blue card.
Yep. I have shown you Delver before, but it might have been a while, so.
Yeah, he looks kind of familiar. Delver of Secrets. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If an instant or sorcery card is revealed this way, transform Delver of Secrets. Oh, yeah, I remember this guy. And then we were like, you told me he was good. I'm pretty sure. God, that's been a while. 1 mana 1/1 and then it transfers to a 3/2 with flying. Yeah, okay, I remember that. I think you told me he was good. I'm gonna I don't know why my brain would lie to me like that, so I'm gonna hold it there. Champion of the Parish. Why are you smirking over there? Whatever.
Hey.
Whenever another human enters the battle, what other? Okay, so that's just the type. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, when I walk into the room, it gets +1/+1.
Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on this card. And this is a 1/1. Okay, so you're asking me which card got to the top 8 of this? Is that what you're asking?
I'm going to show you numbers, and you're going to match the numbers of the cards in the top 8.
Go for it. Okay.
Did you see the Lavamancer?
Oh, I did not. You're so right. Sorry, I saw the Parish, and I was like, man, that seems like a pretty good card.
You're like, I'm done. I don't need to read anymore.
Wait. This is its own card.
Grim Lavamancer, yes.
Okay, so only the blue one has multiple sides.
Only the blue one has multiple sides.
Sorry. Grim Lavamancer, 1 red. This is another human wizard. I love that art. God damn, that is very nice. 1 red, red. Oh my god, red and tap. Exile 2 cards from your graveyard. Wait, red, tap, and exile 2 cards from your graveyard.
That's the cost. Yep.
Grim Lavamancer deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Wait, what the for 1 red 1/1? Exile 2 cards from your graveyard? I'm reading that right? You have to cast one red, you have to tap it, and you have to exile 2 cards from your graveyard.
Yep.
Okay.
Sound pretty good?
Maybe.
You ready for the numbers?
Yeah.
All right. The numbers are 16. One of these had 16 copies in the top 8. 4. One of these had 4 copies in the top 8. And 0. One of these didn't top 8 at all.
Okay. I'm going to mind game this for a second. Or metagame this, I guess. You just showed me Thalia. Thalia is a human soldier. It almost feels like you would put Champion of the Parish with that card. But you told me that Thalia didn't make it into the top 8. So that makes me believe that 0 of Champion of the Parish actually made it to the top 8. Which basically the other 2 are the ones that have 16 and 4. But you showed me Delver of Secrets before, and I believe you told me in that format it was actually played. But this is like years later.
It's been in multiple. I will clarify because I don't want you locked in specifically on a conversation from quite a while ago. Delver's been legal in many formats. It has definitely been a star in some of them. It's also currently legal in standard because, of course, everything is.
Right. Okay, can I ask you one question?
Okay.
I don't know when you showed me this card, but do you remember what year that was that you showed me the card?
Oh, I remember.
Okay, what year did you show me this card? Like, if for Magic, I mean, obviously it was in like 2023 or 2024, whenever we did that video. But in Magic, when you told me this card was good, what year was that?
Oh, I remember.
Are you not gonna tell me?
I remember.
I hate you.
Come on, it's part of the game. I'm not gonna hand it to you.
Well, I was gonna ask you, how many years has it been since this card is like we saw the same iteration, but like when I guessed it.
So how old is this card in this Pro Tour? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was gonna ask you when we did the previous review of this. What year of Magic was that? Like, what timeline was that in the Magic year that we were rating that card?
Oh, I was rating like from all different timelines. I was grabbing from all different points in history.
Okay. Sorry, this is so nerve-wracking. I don't know why. Okay, I think my logic of Champion of Parish makes sense if Thalia didn't make it, because you would put both those in the same deck. They're both human soldiers, and they both work in tandem with one another. So if she didn't make it, this card's 0. So, which makes me think, why would the Grim Lavamancer go to 16? Like, what the fuck? But you also showed me earlier that Inferno Titan was the best Titan out of all of them, and that was in 12 of the decks.
Primeval Titan. Inferno Titan had 5 copies in the top 8.
You're
Primeval
so right.
Titan
Dude,
had 12.
I'm all over the place.
I got
today.
you.
You're so right.
I'm not going to let you say things that are blatantly wrong in front of the world.
No, I do that every single day. It's not a big deal.
I'm going to bait you into those things.
You just want to be the reason for it. I get it. Okay. Well, okay, regardless of what I just said, the Inferno Titan was still played. And we know from the Blue Titan that it was not played at all, but that doesn't mean Blue wasn't there. And you also told me that this Invisible Stalker saw more play than Thalia in the top 8, which makes me believe that a card like Delver of Secrets is still probably played in some kind of aggro blue deck. The question really is, do I think the Grim Lavamancer was better than the Delver? The effect seems so strange. That's a lot to deal 2 damage, but if you do have the resources from it or for it, it's basically doing 2 damage instead of doing 1 every single time it attacks. And you do tap it, so it's just, you just have to basically have the mana and the cards in your graveyard to deal 2. And you also don't have to worry about defending, and it's like burn. That's actually not bad. Later in the game, this could be a little bit of annoying. I mean, like even the first turn you play it after it loses Summoning Sickness, it might just get that 1 chip damage before you even have to use this effect. I mean, worst case scenario, it's a 1-mana 1/1, which I think is fine. So I'm gonna say that the Grim was the most played out of all this at 16, and then Delver, and then it was the Champion of the Parish.
Okay, so Grim Lavamancer, 16 copies, 4 copies of Delver, 0 copies of Champ.
Yeah.
All right. Grim Lavamancer had 0 copies in the top 8. And it's a good card. It's a good card, but it is a lot for the effect. Like, you do have to keep things, you got to keep the graveyard full. And this format was mostly about casting like big 6-drop things, not figuring out a way to get 2 extra points out of your cool little, very good art, but your cool little red creature. Grim Lavamancer would have its time in various other formats and even later in Standard, but this was not the format for Grim Lavamancer. Champion of the Parish. You are right. I did show this to you right after Thalia. It still got 4 copies into the top 8. And the reason that deck didn't play Thalia is because the spells were considered too good to cut.
Oh.
Yeah, because Thalia taxes your stuff as well. So if you are maybe putting a sword, sword is an artifact or a weapon, that would normally be taxed by Thalia. If you want to use swords in that deck, running Thalia is detrimental to your own strategy. This was in a blue-white humans list, and the deck was also using a good amount of cheap spells, so they didn't want to tax themselves. That leaves our friend Delver of Secrets, 16 copies in the top 8. So there are 8 decks, obviously, in the top 8. You can have up to 4 copies in each one. So that's half the top 8 is playing 4 copies of Delver of Secrets. They're spell-heavy decks. And one of those decks did have 4 Champion of the Parish and 4 Delvers because they go together. Because, you know, humans. They're both 1-drop humans.
Oh, my God. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this was Delver's first printing. Was like 1 set ago. So this was the golden age of Delver's Secrets. Ponder was legal, get Taxium Probe, some of these spells that like really are cheap spells that you can fill your deck with that don't have a high cost to them. Ponder specifically let you set up the top of your deck to flip your Delver as early as like turn 3. So yeah, this was Delver's golden age in Standard. It was a very dangerous and often considered the best deck.
Well, that's great for Delver. That's awesome.
Yeah, you doing okay over there?
So happy. That was rough.
That was a rough one. That was a rough one, but it was a fun one. I had a great time.
Oh, okay. I literally baited myself into that. It's actually crazy.
It is. There's a little metaing stuff, but you're learning. You've got some information now. Yeah, you've got some info. You're totally ready for this. There we go. Gotta make sure I find all 3.
Shaking my head.
Same format as last one.
Same format as last one. Okay. These are all individual cards, right? Yeah, there's no like flips.
Yeah, Hunt Master is going to flip, and that's why I just sent you the backside.
Okay. Dungeon Geist, 2 neutral, 2 blue, flying. When Dungeon Geist enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control this card. And it's a 3/3. That is really annoying. Wow, the art is also really interesting there. Okay. Hunt Master of the Fells, 2 neutral, 1 red, 1 green. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Huntmaster of the Fells, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token on the battlefield and you gain 2 life. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform this card. Okay, and it turns into the Ravager of the Fells, which is a 4/4 stat line. Trample. When this card, when this creature transforms into Ravager of the Fells, it deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage up to 1 target creature that player controls. Deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage. Okay. And 2 damage to up to 1 creature. What does that mean? 2 damage to up to 1 creature?
If there's no target, you don't have. So it's so you don't have to target your own thing. Like, so you can choose 0 if there's nothing you want to shoot.
Okay. I get you. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform this card.
Yay, werewolves.
This is such a interesting design card. If no spells were cast last turn. So, just so I'm clear, Ravager of the Fells checks from both opponent or both players.
It does.
Or but Huntmaster only checks for you if no spells were cast last turn. I'm assuming that only means your last turn.
It checks the turn you would play it, for example, or yeah, it checks both players. It checks the current turn. It counts as a spell itself, for example.
Oh. Wait, that is an incredibly interesting card. Okay. Seance, 2 neutral, 2 white. This is an enchantment. At the beginning of each upkeep, you may exile target creature card from your graveyard. If you do, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that card, except it's a spirit in addition to other types. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. At the beginning of your turn, you may exile target creature from your graveyard. Oh my, wait, that seems so good. But okay, the turn that it is summoned, it has summoning sickness?
It does, unless it has haste.
Oh my god, that is...
Are you ready?
Seems like hold on. Yeah, okay. You can send me numbers. Hold on.
You want the numbers?
While you send me numbers, I'm just gonna look at this Huntmaster card again.
Oh yeah, Huntmaster's a little bit of a novel, but it was a new design at the time, so it was very exciting.
No, it's cool. It's really, really cool. See, Hearthstone did an expansion called the Witchwood, which included Worgens in it, which are basically like werewolves in Warcraft lore. But instead of swapping what the card's effect was and its stats entirely, all they really did was they just swapped the stats. So like it would go from like an 8/4 to a 4/8 every other turn.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
but
it's
not
cool
a whole
to see,
different creature.
Not a whole different creature, no. Which is, it's cool to see like how Magic handled that, even though I don't think Hearthstone's design was inherently wrong. It's just, I think yours is just way cooler. I think they probably did it just for simplicity too. But
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a more simple card in Hearthstone. These cards, I remember the first time I saw them, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Okay, so 12, 8, and 0.
Yep. One of these had 12 copies in the top 8, one had 8, and one had 0.
Oh, see, the thing is like I think all of these could be played. Like the Dungeon Geist card is really, really annoying. That's a very, very powerful effect. Obviously, if it dies, it's not as great anymore because like the creature comes untapped, but that's nuts. If a creature, if a creature is tapped and then it gets untapped, can it attack that turn if you remove it on your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so like there's no summoning sickness.
Yeah, the creature doesn't have summoning sickness while it's being tapped here. It's just hanging out, waiting to get to use itself again.
Okay, because that I think that makes that card a little bit worse for sure. You can't bank on that effect, but that is still very annoying. Huntmaster is also really interesting. So when it enters the battlefield, you're paying 4 mana, but you get a 2/2 and then another 2/2 because you get a wolf creature token. But then that turn it can't transform. So then you have to wait for the next time in order for you. But okay, so just so I'm clear, any creature in Magic is a spell.
Yes.
So if you play any creature, this can't transform.
Correct.
Wait, this seems so slow then. Because you want the Raven, you literally want the other effect because the other effect is better. And you want to also cycle back so you get another token. But then this one also keeps track of what your opponent is doing, so then they have to play for that. Oh my god. See, that's the brain power that I think like would be so cool to see in a competitive event, because then you have to start playing around this mini game. I love when games are inside games. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Seance is another really interesting card. The fact is like, yeah, it costs a lot when you first play it, but this is an effect that keeps on giving. And I'm assuming if you're playing this, you could probably put this in a deck that is pretty aggressive or uses a lot of like haste minions, but it's also just the bigger minions you have that can be resummoned from your graveyard and you don't really care if they get exiled because it's just an additional stats is really good. Also, it says the end of next, or exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So that creature that you're bringing back can also block from your opponent, which is really good. So like you're basically, you also, the turn you play this, you can immediately use this effect. So yeah, it's 4 mana, but man, that's a really interesting. Oh my god, see, all of these are playable. I'm pretty sure the worst one here is Geist, but I don't even think it's bad. I just think it's the worst one here. But is it really though? Like green and red seems like a combination of cards that maybe you don't want to do. So unless this card is like really good, I don't think you're really building the mana for it, which makes me think it's the worst one here. God, this is difficult. This is difficult because it also, like, what deck do you want the Huntmaster in?
Good question.
It's such a hard thing to use because yeah, like 4, you're paying this for 4, but that means next turn, like, what are you casting? Like, do enchantments kind of spells?
Yes, and in Magic, everything's a spell except for land.
So the turn you play this, if you want it to turn into the werewolf, you literally just can only play a land.
Well, casting this is a spell. You can't transform it the turn you play
I mean the turn after, right? You
can
only play a land.
The next turn, if you want to play a land and say go, then you can transform, unless the opponent plays something, because there are instances, if the opponent plays something and you tried to pass the turn, that's a feels bad.
There's no way this card's good. There's no way. I don't like, see, like, I think it's bad, but now I'm in the situation where we're so far into the video where I think it might be good. Which I don't think it is. I am gonna pretend that card is bad for the sake of this, because I think the requirement of you actually trying to get to the werewolf is just too difficult, and then your opponent can wait for it, because if your opponent is expecting it, which they will be once they see it on the board, they're like, okay, I just save a couple spells here, or any 2 cards, and then it's back to being a little shitter. So I'm gonna say that one's at 0. I'm pretty sure that it's easier to use Seance than it is Dungeon Geist for most part, because it interacts with your deck. You don't have to worry about your opponent playing anything, but it's a good card. So I'm gonna go Seance is 12, Dungeon Geist is 8, and then the Huntsman, or the Ravager and Huntsman card is 0. But I do want to make it very clear that I think it's a very cool card.
The internet definitely agreed with that. Ravager of the Fells and basically these transforming werewolves were all the talk of like previous season. These are all Dark Ascension cards. They're all 4 mana, which is always that sweet spot of like, ooh, but it's 4 mana. Is that really playable? And again, Dark Ascension, this is Pro Tour Dark Ascension. So the pros only had like a few weeks to try out these cards and figure out what was good and what was bad. So that all made these as wild cards going into the event. The Seance effect definitely looks powerful and super splashy, and getting to reuse ETBs on every upkeep sounds absolutely wild. I would say Dungeon Geist didn't have very much hype because it's just another way to tap a thing. We talked about Frost Titan earlier. Frost Titan was unplayable. And Huntmaster of the Fells, there were people excited about that, and there were people who were, didn't really know what to make of it. The way it broke down, Seance saw 0 copies in the top 8. Dungeon Geists saw 8 copies in the top 8, and Huntmaster of the Fells was a 4 of in 3 different ramp decks, making it 12 copies in the top 8. So let's go by the numbers why they were good, because I'm sure you're suffering. I'm gonna give you some time. I'm just gonna monologue. Huntmaster of the Fells is a good rate. It's got life, it's got value, it does a thing. The flipping part was by some people seen as like the bonus. Maybe it would happen, maybe it wouldn't. Here was the trick. A lot of this format broke down to ramp strategies using Primeval Titan versus Delver strategies, Delver secret strategies, which are trying to flip a Delver, hit you like 4 or 5 times, and counter the Primeval Titan, have a counter spell open. To make that play, they would often have to pass the turn when their opponent was about to have 6 mana open, which, if you had a Huntmaster of the Fells on the turn and your opponent, to leave their counterspell up past the turn, would transform your Huntmaster, which then would deal 2 damage to the Delver. So it was a really good anti-meta card that made it really hard for the Delver decks to have counterspells open for Primeval Titan or Inferno Titan. So that card was really meta. And what was really cool on the other side is that Dungeon Geist was also really meta. This was the Delver deck's card that could lock down a Titan and keep it from continuing to attack and get those triggers. So both of these were brand new cards that pros identified in a short window as tech against each other, and it played out really interestingly in the top 8.
Yeah, I think I did not pay attention to the fact that you could just stop a Titan from doing anything. That's really good. But I paid 8 for it, so I'm gonna take that W anyways. So Seance wasn't played because people didn't they didn't think it was good enough to bring in the short amount of time. Like, was it played after?
Seance is a bizarre card. I put it on this list for a very important reason, because I want to tell you a story.
Perfect.
So Seance, when it came out, people were pretty excited about it, and a lot of brewers, including myself, tried to make Seance work for a long time. There were ways to fill the graveyard, like Faithless Looting is a card that's legal in this format that lets you dump cards straight into the graveyard and get those enters the battlefield effects from, say, Titans. It always looks like such a good card. It's kind of wild that it just doesn't quite work out. I can't put my finger on it exactly. Just the 4-mana enchantment play to get an ETB and a 1/1 that exiles itself is like, or it's not even a 1/1, like it's a copy of the creature, but still, then it exiles itself, keeping the graveyard full. There's a lot of weird tension with the card. But I wanted to tell you this story. This didn't happen for this Pro Tour, but it happened a few years later, because this is how deeply people believe in Seance. This is from a Reddit post called "Guy Who Paid People to Destroy Seances is Paying 38K for a Pro Player to Play Seance in a Pro Tour."
Okay. Interesting.
So on the Reddit Jobs for Bitcoins, there was a post that Seance is currently worth 15 cents. I'm willing to pay 50 cents per destroyed Seance if between 4 and 100 are burned, plus $10 flat for video proof. If 100 or more Seance are burned, I'll pay $1 per card up to $1,000. Make sure the video clearly shows Seances getting burned and not random cards.
What was there a video?
I mean, not that was posted. This was put up on Jobs for Bitcoin, so people could respond to the job. We're not sure who took the job or how much it was taken.
That's crazy.
Then, a few months later, this came out on the Spikes Reddit, which is where tryhards go to hang out and talk tryhardy things for Magic. So it says, I would like to hire someone that is qualified for the Pro Tour to build and or pilot a deck for that tournament centered around the card Seance. If you are qualified and interested, send me a message. We can discuss if a certain list has enough Seance presence to merit being centered around the card. They offered 90.5 Bitcoin, which at the time was $38,000, is currently over $60,000. For somebody to play a deck at the Pro Tour built around Seance after paying people to burn Seance a few months before. This is like somebody tried actual market manipulation on a pretty wild scale by trying to reduce what was out there in the availability of the card, then pay a pro to go out there, play it in a Pro Tour to try to sell copies again.
Oh, so like artificially increase the value of a card because it was at the Pro Tour.
Yep. They wanted to cut the supply and then basically see if one pro could make the price skyrocket, and then they would be the only one left with Seance. That's Do you want to know? Do you want to guess what happened?
I'm gonna guess. I mean, for that price, I'm pretty sure a pro would have played it at the Pro Tour.
A lot of people were in talks. I don't actually have the Seance deck. If anybody has a link to the Seance deck, please post it. I really do want to know. But the price of Seance never got above $1. The grand experiment, I would say, if it was a money-making scheme, failed pretty miserably. But
do you have that graph? Sorry, do you have the graph of the price of Seance? I wonder if there's like a spike specifically when the Pro Tour happened. See if someone actually played it or not.
I can, yeah, let me send you a quick screenshot. Yeah, here's price history from MTG Goldfish. Do you see any definite buyout moment on Seance?
Buyout moment? I mean, near like January 16th, it looks like it spiked pretty hard.
Yeah, it did become a bit of a story. I personally bought 12 Seances. I wanted to believe. What can I say?
I respect that.
I did not dump them at, like bulk pricing till like 2 years ago.
That is very funny. I mean, at the price it was, if the chance of it actually went up quite a bit, like you were chilling, like it's not a bad investment, right? The payoff was there.
I would say for like the offer was to burn them, right? But I think that the story actually had the effect that the person was looking for, because I think a lot of people like bought them and held them just to see what would happen.
That's so funny.
It's an absolutely wild story. I think it does showcase that people want to believe in Seance, as it was the card chosen of all cards that somebody was like, some pro can build a deck around this and we're going to drive it to the moon. This is way better than people realize, you know?
I mean, it's definitely like, it's like a pet card, you know what I mean? Like people would want to build a deck around it. It's actually surprising though that it's not better. Like it feels like it's such a strong card, but maybe I'm on the same train as those people.
You know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. Other people don't get it. You should buy all the seances and just wait for some pro to break it so that you can be rich. It's never been done before.
So here's the thing. I'm not going to do that.
I mean, yeah, think about it. Some pro got offered like 38,000 at the time in Bitcoin to like basically break seance and play it at the Pro Tour and still couldn't do it.
See, 38,000.
That's crazy.
That's actually why. See, like that, if I wasn't very, I mean, going into the tournament, you'd have to be pretty confident. Like you'd have at least a decent chance coming into it. But like, I don't know what the actual payout of the tournament was, but $38,000 seems like a pretty significant amount from what you can make. From
yeah, you're not going to get that kind of money without top 8ing the tournament, which is, you know, a long shot at best.
Yeah, it's not, you're unlikely. So like, there has to be someone who took it. There has to be.
There has to be.
It would be financially irresponsible to not take that.
I probably would.
I would too.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe the deck sucks. Maybe I lose all my games, but I'll take the shot.
Well, like, see, the thing is, it's like, regardless of what, like, the worst part about going into a tournament, right, is you just lose. Like, you have this expectation that you're going to do very well because you want to be confident in yourself, and then all of a sudden you just lose at like some point. Like, maybe it's top 8, maybe it's top 16. If you took that deal, regardless of when you lost, you wouldn't really be upset about it because you already won a prize. Like, you already got the $38,000.
And the upside, if you win using seance.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm investing.
Also, if you're on the inside of this deal, don't you just also buy 100 seances just in case you win? They're less than like $1 at the time. Why not?
I mean, if you're getting $38,000, sure, why not?
Yeah,
toss a little bit into the pool.
Yeah,
That's great.
To my knowledge, it has never been attempted again. It was just one of these weird things that happened in Magic that only happens when you have a game like Magic, a paper game, this pro scene that influences things. Like, it's kind of wild.
That is very funny. That's actually incredible. Yeah, Hearthstone, you can't do that because there's no like actual like financial value for these cards. But I mean, maybe you could put like a wanted thing, right? Where like use this card in your professional tournament and see what happens. But
see what happens.
Hearthstone doesn't have that money.
I'm excited about this next set because once upon a time you rated what you said was your favorite card, Charizard. Okay. Remember that?
Ooh, yeah.
And you asked me, have they ever printed anything like that again? And I said no. It turns out I lied.
You lied?
I lied. I didn't think of it. It didn't occur to me. But I'm going to have you rate. We're going to do another 3 of lineup, and then I'm going to give you top 8 numbers. This is for planeswalkers that were legal in this format.
Okay. Planeswalkers. There's a card that had Charizard's effect on it as a planeswalker.
You'll see.
Oh my God. Okay. Whew. All these look really cool. Liliana looks dope as hell.
Oh yeah.
How do you say this? Karn? Karn? Liberated? 7 mana. Planeswalker. So it has 6. What did he call it? Is this like life? What is it? Durability?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. That's what it is. Okay, so +4. Target player exiles a card from his or her hand. All right, that seems like a pretty good effect. Remind me, the turn you play a planeswalker, you can also use one of these.
That is correct.
Okay. -3 loyalty, exile target permanent. So that's something on board. Okay. Oh God. -14. Restart the game, leaving in exile all non-aura permanent cards exiled with Karn liberated. Then put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Okay, so if you hit -14, you win. It's over. Like they might as well just said that. Like that's crazy. You can't, dude. So you start with no lands, but they have all these. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sorin, Lord of the Innistrad. That sounds good. 2 neutral, 1 white, 1 blue, or sorry, 1 black, 1 white. 3 loyalties. So +1, you get put 1/1 black vampire creature token with lifelink onto the battlefield. -2 loyalty is you get an emblem with creatures you control get +1/+0. Is an emblem just like an aura on board?
Yes. And
you can get multiple of those, or does it, if you use it again, does it replace itself?
You can get multiples, and there's nothing really that can happen to an emblem. Like it's basically there forever. It's uninteractable.
Okay. -6 loyalty. Destroy up to 3 target creatures and or other planeswalkers. Return each card put into a graveyard. This way to the battlefield under your control. Wait. So you destroy these cards and then you get them on your side?
Yeah.
Wait, that seems insane. Hello?
The big minus, what's called the ultimate, the last most expensive minus, is usually on a good card pretty insane.
Well, it's also just like thinking about how hard it is to get to -6 loyalty. So you have to take 3 turns to do +1, which might take a little bit, but you don't always have to go for -6 anyways. The Karn guy, -14, you only have to do target player exiles a card from his or hand twice, and then you probably just win, maybe the last one here. Liliana the Veil, 1 neutral, 2 black, 3 loyalty. So +1, each player discards a card. You get to pick the card.
Yep.
Okay. I have to ask that because at Hearthstone you don't get to pick majority of the time. -2 loyalty, target player sacrifices a creature, and then -6 loyalty. Separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of his or her choice. Do you get to pick the piles, or is it like random?
You select the piles. They select what they keep and what they destroy.
And they don't have to be even in terms of the amount of cards in that pile.
Nah, you can do all kinds of cool things. All lands, all spells, all lands of one color, all spells of one color. Yeah, it's juicy.
Wait, that is disgusting. That is actually gross. Oh my god, all of these are so nuts.
Ready for the numbers?
Yeah, give me the numbers. Oh my god, how do you evaluate this? 410?
410. 4 copies in the top 8, 1 copy in the top 8, and none in the top 8.
Remind me how many planeswalkers you can have per deck. Is it 3?
It's 4.
Is it 4? Okay. These aren't legendaries?
I mean, they are legendary. If you have 2 of them, you'll have to sacrifice 1.
Oh, but you can have 4 legendaries in a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it?
Okay, yeah, you can put four copies of a legendary in the deck. You can just only have 1 on the battlefield at a time.
Right. Man, how do you even... Okay, I gotta look at the mana cost here. Karn literally says if you play this and it lives basically 2 turns, there's no way you're losing the game. Like you win the game from the very beginning. You'd be so far ahead. But that's pretty slow. Sorin basically does almost the exact same thing, but your opponent still has mana to work with after. But that's a lot of tempo as well. Liliana's effect is insane. That is nuts. Separate all permanent target players' controls into 2 piles. Like the shit you could do to a person with that. Oh my god.
I love that you mentioned earlier the sub game. All of these have a little sub game. That's what's kind of fun about Planeswalkers.
Let's be real here. Karn's not even a sub game. It's basically you just stuck the middle finger up to them and said, like, you lost.
I mean, they do get to choose. Like, if you're using the +4 twice and then the ultimate, they choose the card in their hand that exiles. I guess you could target yourself. That's a bold strategy.
I mean, the thing is, though, is you don't even... At that point, if you got the +4 twice and then you got to -14, you probably already won the game. Like, I'd be baffled on turn 7, depending on what the combos are, like how powerful that effect would be if you could use it 3 times. But regardless, it is the slowest one here. It's so slow. 7 mana, like for this, then your opponent can interact with this card, right? Like, how does the damage work on it? So if they attack into a planeswalker,
They can attack a planeswalker instead of a player, and if they strike it, you know, the power that hits it removes the loyalty counters.
And remind me too, if it goes to 0, just dies.
Yep.
It's out.
To the graveyard, out of here. But come on, it's got like a game within a game. It's got a Charizard.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
It restarts the game.
Also, the cool thing about this card is that it has no color mana. You could put this in anything. The possibilities are insane with a card like this. It's the epitome of just the best card of all time, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, there's my thumbnail.
But the thing is, if I'm thinking about the metagame you showed me, I think it's too slow. But in any other circumstance, this card is insane. So I don't think I legally can put it to 401. I think it is the worst one here. Unless someone's like, I'm going to really piss someone off. Maybe that's where the 1 comes in. Oh my God. Okay, the question between the other two is really difficult because I do think Liliana is really, really, really good. That is a card that the last one is so powerful. And both of the, like, she comes on a turn earlier, theoretically, than Sorin. But Sorin's card is really good too because it's like tempo out of your ass. Which I think is just
Sorin, tempo out of your ass, Lord of Innistrad.
That's so powerful. That is so powerful. But it does take time. It does take time. But like putting 1/1 creatures onto the battlefield with lifelink is really great. It stalls your opponent, and then on top of it, you do get the +1 loyalty, and then if they stay alive, you can even think about getting an emblem. Oh my God, I don't know. I think Liliana is the better card. I think most of the time you would like to have the ability to go -2 sacrifice a creature, because if the format was catered around these giants or the titans, sorry, that's a really good effect to have, just to be like, the second I play this, I can interact with one of them and they're dead. So that makes me believe that this is the best one in here, and therefore I have to put it at 4. I do like Sorin, but I'm gonna wrap my boy Karn. He was brought once. Sorin got 0.
You think somebody showed up with Karn in their top 8 Pro Tour deck and was just like, "Yep, that's what we're doing."
Yep. Think about it.
Okay. Tell me.
If green ramps, right? You ramp up, you get this card out ASAP, you start rolling your opponent, they have to discard cards, like, oh my God, what's happening? And then you just hit the restart button and you're like Thanos already. You already won. You got all the Infinity Stones. It's not only did you win, you mentally destroyed them. And therefore there's no way that person wins the tournament. So you've already at least beat one person. Okay, thank you.
And you're gonna stick with your numbers?
Yeah, I'll go 4 for Liliana, sorry, and then Karn gets 1, and then Sorin gets 0. But can I just? That's my guess, but I'm gonna guess what you're gonna tell me right now. Sorin's the most played. Liliana got 1, and then Karn got 0.
Oh, Rarran, you should have aimed for this. You should have aimed for the head. Karn is the 4. Karn is the 4. Karn is the 4.
That's awesome.
It was an amazing sideboard card in the ramp decks, because when it was ramp versus ramp, it didn't matter how expensive it was. It was who had the biggest and best thing, and Karn could do it. Karn could be the biggest and best thing.
That's amazing.
Indeed.
Hold on. Karn price. TCG player.
Yeah.
Karn the Liberated? What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's kind of expensive.
How much does it say? What's the Canadian price?
Oh, he's like $10. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yep.
That's a cool card. Sorry,
you're gonna pick up one. You're gonna start your Magic collection with Karn Liberated.
I told you off stream, like, I actually do want to start, like, just as a card game thing, just like start getting cards I think are really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
I don't play the game.
Hell yeah.
So like, I think Karn would be really cool to get, because I think he's just a really interesting. That's a crazy card, dude. Like, that's actually insane.
Oh yeah, I love that card. I have gamed with Karn. I have done the -14.
And you won.
Yeah, I've won. It wasn't very close. Also, for your analysis, talking about the other two, you know, Sorin and Lily are over here like, hey, what about us? Your analysis was good. Lily is the best card. Liliana saw a lot of play in various formats. Liliana of the Veil is legal in Standard now. Liliana of the Veil sees play in current giant power crept standard. But in this top 8, there was only one copy of Liliana of the Veil.
Okay. Okay.
Sorin, actually also a very good card, and did see a lot of play in various token strategies and planeswalker strategies. Your analysis was good. The lifelinkers were very good, especially in stabilizing like against aggressive strategies. But again, this was a really rampy, like over the top meta, and Sorin was kind of mid-range, you know, a little offense, a little defense, but not big kapow power. And Sorin did not make the top 8.
Okay. But all of these saw play in the tournament, I'm guessing, because all of them.
Yes. All of them did see play in the tournament. So
okay.
Yeah, that's why the top 8's an interesting game and an interesting little bar to clear. So because I can show you really cool cards instead of just Yetis.
Yo, come on, man.
I found my Yeti of this tournament. Don't forget, Invisible Stalker was in this top 8.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
All right. I got another fun one. Same rules.
You could buy a PSA 10 Gem Mint Karn Liberated foil on eBay for how much money you think?
Say it again. PSA graded 10?
PSA graded 10, which means there's no imperfections on the card.
What's that?
Hold on, let me look at the icon here because I wouldn't be able to play this set. I don't think it's.
It's got to say it in the title. It has to.
Gem Mint Karn Liberated foil Double Masters 2020. Yeah,
Double Masters 2020. Okay, I have one of those, so I hope it's really high.
Do you have every card in the game?
I'm working on it. I definitely have everything from like the last 4 years.
That's fucking sick.
Anyway, how much?
It is 625 US.
What? No, it's not. Okay,
that's what this guy.
It can't be the one I have. It can't be. Oh my gosh. Okay, CGB finds out if he's a millionaire live on camera. No, I have that. Holy shit! That's in my casual binder. No, wait, that's the asking price, or is that sold?
I think that's just the asking price.
That's the asking price. Don't buy it. That can't be right. Oh my god.
That's
maybe
crazy.
it is. I mean, it's not a graded 10, but yeah, I just have this in my binder. If it's actually worth that much, I'm gonna lose my shit.
On. I'm gonna check another resource. Give me a sec. Hold on. There's an app called Collector that you can get that has like actual things getting sold. Give me a sec. Karn Liberated. Sorry, did you send the next cards? I'm sorry. I'm distracted.
Nope, I didn't. I have them ready to go, but now I no. Let's find out if CGB is a millionaire right here in a video. Just
okay. Well, so the card that's not graded, that is just the one I sent you. That's not even holographic. Is $20.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's worth $20, like it's not. It's probably pretty close to what it is.
Well, mine was foiled.
There's no person on this app as well. Then this covers eBay and a lot of other sites that are selling a PSA 10 minted version of this card.
I mean, I guess the slab is worth a lot to somebody. Maybe I still think this person is just putting up like mega high price, but I don't know.
It might be.
I don't know. I'd have to get my old school eBay like spike approach out. I'd have to look at all completed sales and like figure out exactly how long this listing has been there, you know, and stuff like that.
I do got you. I can't find any. Okay, hold on. Same. Oh, wait. They might be scamming.
I think. Yeah.
Hold on. Because there's this one which isn't graded by PSA. I don't even know what company this is. I don't know what the difference between borderless is between this guy's version of the card. I don't think there is.
It is borderless. The one that you sent me is borderless.
I guess his holo is slightly different. Like it looks like it's a different holographic, right? I could be wrong.
There isn't. No, I don't think so. There isn't a textured or any other higher like elevated version of this. I think that this person is selling a $30 card for $600.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm going to dig one step deeper here because you probably know more than I do. This one says, the one I just sent you is Mythic Rare Foil Borderless, right? The one before that says Showcase Foil.
Same thing.
Is it the same thing?
Different word, same thing.
So they're just... The only logic I have then is that the PSA grade 10 is worth more than whatever this is.
I mean, that's how much they, I guess, are putting on the PSA grade, I guess.
because it does cost like at least $50 just to grade it from PSA if you're doing one card at a time.
So you take a $30 card, you do a $50 grading, and you sell for $625. We're in the wrong business.
Dude, that's why it's crazy, dude.
Dude, imagine if we combine an influencer with that approach. Oh, we're gonna get canceled.
No, you're okay. There's one more, by the way. There is it's the card you just showed me. So it's from 2015, I guess, is when this card came out. I'm guessing you would know more than I would, but 9.5, not holographic. In euros, it's worth $400.
Interesting. Okay, so what that is probably like you were looking at the extra souped up showcasey foil. I'm guessing that is a foil from the original set.
It's not even foiled.
Not even now I'm confused. Send me this. Yeah, drop me this. What are we talking about here?
It's right there. That's
what are we talking about? What? What? Modern Masters 2015. Non-foil Karn Liberated, graded 9.5, 400 euro. In the meantime, I could go buy one that's not graded for $7.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Okay, sorry.
Who is buying this?
I got distracted.
Who is buying this?
It is. It's interesting, right?
Wait, I am so confused right now.
It's crazy to think how much the grading just like increases the value of a card, and it does make sense in terms of older cards. Like I guess 2015 is like I would consider like a pretty old card at this point, right? But man, it's a lot of money. Like 9.5 for that. Like the newer version is sick as fuck. But
the seller is Wizards _of_the_coast.
There's no way it's from Magic.
That's such a scam. Oh my god.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, fair enough.
That's such a scam. Oh, all right. I have to stop talking because what if I'm wrong about something? Maybe there's something going on I don't know. But oh my gosh, we have uncovered a crime ring on the internet. I think
it's fine. It's
oh my. This is the new format for videos going forward. We're going to go uncover scammers on the internet and expose them.
Dude, that would actually go so hard. I would watch that.
No, the reason it works is because you believe it might be real. And I'm coming from a perspective that doesn't know anything about Magic prices, right?
Exactly. People, listen, I'm gonna say something here. People shit talk Hearthstone because it doesn't have any monetary value, but I will say this: it is very nice to not even think about that. Like, it's very just like, yeah, I just buy packs, and if I get the card, I get the card.
I 100% agree with you. I really do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, sorry. You can send your next cards.
I have a whole other rant in me about how the financial side of Magic like actually kills a lot of the enjoyment, and people don't even realize it. Anyway, let's do one more. Okay. Same format. 3 cards, numbers, make a match.
Make a match. Okay. Elish Norn, Grand Cenobite. What is that? Like what is that, like a helmet, or is that like a part of her body?
I mean, Great question. Ask her. Yeah.
Okay.
The unanswerables. No, it isn't.
5 neutral, 2 white. Vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2. Oh my god. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2, and it's a 4/7. Okay, so potentially being one of the most powerful cards I think you've shown me, but also I could get baited here. Let me look at the next ones. That's a very good effect. Just like in Hearthstone, if a creature has 0 health, it just dies, right?
That's like right.
Okay. Jin get his ass.
Yes, Jin get his ass.
I'm not gonna bother pronouncing that correct. 8 neutral. 2. What the fuck is this thing? Hold on. That's like, you know what Blue Eyes White Dragon is from Yu-Gi-Oh?
I watched an episode with it once.
Okay, have you ever seen Alien versus Predator?
Yes.
Okay, it's like you asked a kid to draw Alien for the first time after seeing the image for like 1 second. He's also just a really good artist. Like, this is crazy. What the hell's going on with it? Anyways, 8 neutral, 2 blue. Flash at the beginning. Wait, what is Flash again, sorry?
You can play it on at any time.
Oh, right. Okay. It's like instant for minions. At the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards. Each opponent maximum hand size is reduced by 7. What the fuck? So when this card is played, you go to your opponent's next turn, and then what? They just lose all their cards?
Yeah, they discard to hand size at the end of that turn. But you can also cast this at the end of their turn because as flash, and they just have to discard right away.
That's a game-winning effect, no?
I mean, you tell me. You're the card game guy.
You would be able to draw. Wait, would you even be able to draw a card? You would. And then you get 1 card. That's it. You explain how maximum hand size will work at that point.
Sure. Maximum hand size takes effect at the end of turn, similar to Hearthstone. And then you have to discard down to the maximum hand size. I think you're not allowed to ever have a card over max hand size in Hearthstone. In Magic, you have until the end of your turn to play the cards, and then you discard down to the max hand size.
Okay. Hearthstone is, if you have your max hand size is 10 unless you change them with some other card, but if you draw into a card, it's immediately just not drawn into your hand.
That's not the case in Magic. In Magic, you draw the card and you have until the end step, what's called the cleanup step, the very end of your turn, to cast the card. And if you don't, if it's sitting in your hand, then you have to obey the rules.
If this was a Hearthstone card, that effect is insane. But the fact that it's not a Hearthstone card and you do get to play with the cards you draw, I mean, it's whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, like maybe it wins you the game, but at that point, I think you already won. Okay. Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. 6 mana, 2 green. Trample. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. That line of text is illegal. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap. That's illegal. That card's broken.
it's a real motherfucker.
That card is insane. That it cannot have the bottom text. It can just have the first paragraph there, and that's disgusting. Yeah. What's the numbers?
You ready for the numbers?
Yeah.
This is how many were played in the top 8.
Oh, what the fuck?
1, 0, and 0. Only 1 copy of one of these made it into the entire top 8, and you get to figure out which one it is.
Okay, me personally, I think the what's his name, Get Your Ass is gone. Unfortunately, that card's. I mean, okay, you brought up the sideboard thing, which is something I didn't really consider before. Maybe in a very specific matchup, you put this into your deck, and this just rolls your opponent because you have a win condition against it. But Vorinclex, that is a crazy line of text to have. And we're putting this into a class that already ramps. And then you showed me the Titan that gives you more lands. So the turn that this is played, well, I guess maybe not the turn that's played, maybe the turn after. I mean, if you gotta wait for the turn after, though, like, unless you have an insane amount of mana, I guess it's more just like a trample 7/6. But the second line of text, I guess, affects your opponent immediately, which is great. Quick question for you, clarification. If this thing dies when my opponent uses mana, does that still apply to the land that they tapped?
That's a very technical question. I think the answer for what you're thinking is yes. Like, you play this, the opponent taps 2 mana, they Doom Blade it, and then those lands do not untap. Like, I think that's the spirit of what you're asking. Okay,
yeah. I just fair. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, let me read Elish Norn again. Other creatures you control get +2/+2. That is a good effect. And the aura that you give your opponent is insane. It's also really good against the Titans, which seem to be like a pretty prominent thing. Man, I don't know. Like, all of these are really interesting. I'm pretty sure Get Your Ass is the worst one, though. Like, you would only run that as some kind of win condition. I do think that, like, in a vacuum, Vorinclex is like the most powerful one here. Or I guess just say it has the highest ceiling, because that's very good. Like, Elish Norn is just, when you play it, it's good. Most of the time. Like, as long as, I mean, it interacts with the board immediately, which is generally what you want for a card that costs 7 mana. I think that's very important. God, I don't know. That's tough. I'm pretty sure Get Your Ass is the worst one. I'm gonna go with Elish Norn, because I just think, like, at 7 mana, like, you're really happy to play this, like, regardless of what the the deck you're going against. I feel like maybe you don't really need the Vorinclex sometimes because you're just already A, too far ahead, but B, you may not be able to spend that much mana. And then get your asses like, yeah, it could be good against a very specific matchup, but if you're going to put it, it's like in your sideboard, that's pretty much it. But I feel like most people wouldn't run it. So I'll go with Elish Norn.
Libby, I have sound effects requests. We need air horns and confetti because you got it. It's Elish Norn.
Let's go. Let's go big. I would scream louder, but my cat is literally sleeping right behind me. I can't.
Dude, that's like a threat to your content. Like, what are we doing without you yelling, let's go at the top of your lungs?
I'm going to zoom in on him. Like I told you, I got a new kitten, so I'll zoom in on him. It's better for your content than mine, I'm going to be honest.
I see. I can't see this. I'll have to watch it back later, but I'm sure it's cute and adorable.
I can hear you. I'm going to step out of frame just so it focuses on him. Give me a second.
Okay.
You can keep talking.
Hi, Kitty. What am I supposed to say? Elish Norn was...
Talk about the card.
Yeah. Elish Norn got played as a one-of in a deck called Birthing Pod, which is the only deck in the top 8 that didn't feature either Delver of Secrets or Primeval Titan. Those were like the two pillars of the format battling each other. And Birthing Pod was this weird creature combo deck up the middle that would chain creatures together. Birthing Pod is an artifact. Libby will put it on screen. It's in the folder. Birthing Pod is an artifact that lets you sacrifice a creature and search your own deck for a creature that has one more mana cost than the creature sacrificed. So you just kind of walk up this chain of getting different creatures on the battlefield, and their top end, their 7, was Elish Norn. So they would often finish their Birthing Pod chain by getting Elish Norn onto the battlefield, making all their creatures bigger and better than the opponents, killing all their opponents' little creatures, even making their Titans too small to attack Elish Norn. And Elish Norn was very much the correct one of the Praetors that should see play at a competitive level in a format where Doomblade is legal. Elish Norn had the most immediate, here it is, impact, possible game-winning effect. Beloved card. People love Mommy, as they call her. Mommy. There you go.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Out of all the cards you've shown me, did any of them actually win the tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Which one? What won the tournament?
The winner of the tournament, a deck called Wolf Run Ramp, played by the Brian Kibler. This was his Pro Tour win. Ran 4 copies of Primeval Titan, 2 copies of Inferno Titan, 2 copies of Karn frickin' Liberated.
Oh, let's go.
There, that's our Kibler. Oh, and 4 copies of Huntmaster of the Fells.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, red green ramp. Do it big.
That's awesome.
In fact, they crushed the meta so good. He played, arguably best player of all time, Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa, in the finals. That was the finals, and they were both playing almost the exact same deck.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's actually awesome.
It is.
All right. I'm going to have to buy a card.
Yeah, absolutely. I also encourage anybody who got the feels from this video, the nostalgia, to go watch the video from the Dark Ascension. If you watch one thing to relive it, watch the semifinals video, because it's Kibler versus Finkel. It's red-green ramp versus blue-white black Delver. So all colors are represented. The 2 opposing strategies are represented. Finkel arguably at the time was considered the greatest player of all time, and Kibler is freaking Kibler. He's shuffling his hand like a maniac. It's one of the best matches to ever watch.